Good morning, namaste, good evening. So I've been getting asked this question a lot as of recently, so I figured this topic would call for a video. So I'm going to dedicate this video to this specific topic here. But a lot of us are looking for the point of life, the meaning of life. And this is a very loaded question. This is something philosophers have been answering and attempting to answer for people for many, many years. And for everyone, this question is subjective, which means the answer is inside of you. And it's like this for all questions. But what the meaning, I would say, of this experience is to find the question and the answer in the same place from within you. Because the moment you answer the question of the meaning to life, you will birth another question following that. And every answer that you bring forth is going to go back to that one question of, but what is the meaning? You'll bring forth a new question, but that answer will go back to the initial question. What is the meaning? And this is what we do with question and answer. It's subjective, which means it comes from you. All question comes from you, which means all answer can only come from you. Even if a video, even if a book, even if another source appears to be giving you the answer, your belief, you believing in something, is what makes something truth. So truth is not actually anyone bringing you something. Truth is what's inside of you. Truth is your experience in itself. You decide what is true and what is not. So any of us can be told many things from many books, many people, many videos. But truth is yours, and it always will be. Because you decide truth. Your experience, your belief decides what is true. So truth is not something that you need to meditate on. Truth is not something that you need to practice or exert a lot of effort into accomplishing. The greatest truth is already accomplished. It's already done. The meaning is to find the question and the answer inside or within the very same awareness. What this means is there is only one awareness present when there is the question brought forth, and there is only one awareness present when the answer is brought forth. So what this means is that question and answer are one and the same presence. It is the same presence, meaning you must be aware, you must be there to formulate question answer. They are not separate. They are happening through your awareness. But they are separated because we have yet to dive deep within ourselves and discover the place. Because it's not an actual place, but when I say this, I mean within ourselves. We must discover this primordial energy, which is throughout all things, right within us, where all question and answer are being produced from. I was asked this question on one of my YouTube videos, and somebody asked the question of what is the difference between consciousness and awareness? And I'll say this. There's a reason we, as this species, do not understand consciousness today. We don't understand consciousness. We seek the origin to our consciousness, and we seek the meaning to our consciousness. We seek all these associations to the word consciousness, which what we're doing is it's like going into a movie theater and completely forgetting that the screen is there. You're getting lost in the film, so you're getting lost in the pictures and the forms that are moving. It's taking you from place to place, but the screen has not moved at all. But in your mind, you have moved. You have been a many places. You have seen a many faces because you have ignored the screen. That screen is an awareness. That is our awareness. You have to have a screen there, awareness there, before you have consciousness, before you have something presently aware of itself. So the reason we don't understand our own consciousness is because we have conceived it. Now, what I mean by this is we have created consciousness. We have birthed consciousness. We have given it definition. We have given it shape. We have given it absolute everything. Which is why we don't understand it. We do not understand ourselves beyond a human species, a human being. And it's what I talked about in my last video. If you believe in your mind you are just a human being, you are just this human species, you have created a wall in your mind. The mind is formless. The mind has no wall, has no boundary. But again, you are truth happening onto itself. You are the truth. So whatever you believe is what becomes true, is what is going to be experienced through you. So while we are creating something here, we are not. We think we're creating the life and things that are happening here. We are not. Everything that is already and already has been, already is. It does not require your control. The part that we are creating is what we are choosing to see, what we believe. That is where we create. We create worlds. We create universes. And the woman is the Stargate, which teleports self from one place to another, from this incarnation to the next. So the woman is not actually birthing a human being. The woman is not actually birthing a species or a person. The woman is birthing an entire universe out because, again, we are the truth. Inside of us is the central flame that Freemasons and the all-seeing eye and all these associations are attached to, that oneness. That oneness is our true nature. And since we are dreaming so heavily, we have attached evil beings, entities, beliefs to this oneness. From the Freemasons to the people who worship, or not worship, but believe in the all-seeing eye, meaning this is the symbol of God, of an entirety. And I've talked about this many times. A symbol can never be evil. Evil is something that has the intentions of harming you. I want to hurt you. If I want to hurt you, I am evil. This is evil. Evil must have intention. If I hold a picture up, a symbol up, and I tell you this is evil, evil is subjective. You birth evil into something. You see evil through the word, through everything. You are the dualistic principle of God and Satan. And that's why you have brought forth deities to view. So when you picture God, you picture the deity you have created for God. When you think of Satan, you think of the deity you have created for Satan. And this is to keep you from seeing your true self. God is to keep you from seeing your true potential, your true power. And Satan is to keep you from looking in the mirror, to see that true power, to see what is behind this mirror. And that's why Satan is held up as this evil thing. And in religion, they threaten you. Don't you dare look in that mirror. But what it's really doing is it's you coming to yourself saying, I'm warning you. If you look in that mirror, you're going to awaken. If you look in that mirror, you're going to hit a point of no return. Because once you've looked in that mirror, you can never unsee what the eyes have seen. Because again, these two eyes are just a projector, projecting nothing but your mind. And this is why I made the post about opening the third eye. And this is how I know most of the people who like my statuses are not serious. They do not read my content. The post that I put up with the pine cone talking about the pineal gland and talking about fluoride and how fluoride kills the pineal gland, I posted that picture saying I do not agree with it. This is New Age spirituality. This is nothing but superstition. which is exactly what people in spirituality criticize people in religion for. Superstition. You're finding things that aren't there. You're going to a building when there's nothing holy there. You are the Holy One. So all spirituality is doing is creating more superstition through this belief of fluoride and through the belief of opening the third eye. And if you resonate with that, that's perfectly fine. I don't mean to convince or try to convince anyone. But if you're hitting a wall with processes to open the third eye, I can tell you why. This video is for you. My status is about opening the third eye are for you. And I say, I encourage you to go out and try. Don't let me discourage you. If you want to open the third eye through doing something, go out and try. Go out and pay every single teacher, and you will begin or end right where you began. You will discover inevitably that what you're trying to do is already done. What you're trying to connect to, you already are. You're not who you think you are, and so you've created a process to become what you're trying to be, but you're already that. You couldn't meditate to become that anymore. You couldn't hold a crystal to your forehead to become that anymore. These have nothing to do with God, with spirituality. This is not spirituality. And forgive me if I'm being controversial. Forgive me if I'm going against what you believe. But I like to give people an alternative way. If you are that person that's in frustration through spirituality, if you're hitting that wall, you were me. I was you many years ago, and I was so frustrated. I attempted suicide because I was so desperate to know who I was. I was so tired of hitting this wall. I was so tired of pretending to the whole world that my third eye was opened. Because I was selling the process. Everything that I'm speaking against right now, I was doing. I was selling. I was offering. I was teaching. So I can assure you, if you want results, real results, you want the experience and not the belief, I can show you the path. But it comes at a price. It requires sacrifice. You have to want it bad enough. And I'm not saying go and attempt suicide, but that is where I was at in my frustration. I was so desperate, so hungry. I couldn't sleep at night. It's like what Morpheus says. It eats at you like a splinter in your mind. You can't think about anything else. I can be at work, and I'm never at work because all I can think about is I need to know who I am here. There was a great urgency inside of me. I would read any book you gave to me. I would watch any video you gave to me because I wanted results. Don't tell me how you've turned vegan and how your experience has changed because you feel the energy or you feel this or you can see clear. No, I want an in-depth explanation to how you transformed, how going vegan directly impacted and influenced your life for the better. How did it turn you into a loving being? How did it give you clear seeing? Because 9 times out of 10, people can't answer these questions. It's an ego's game. And when I say ego, I don't mean somebody who's full of themselves. I mean somebody who is convinced there's something they're not. Which is why there is a process. Which is why there is a doing required. And I say this repeatedly. Eventually, we need to be honest with ourselves. Me charging this crystal every month, me paying a teacher to open my third eye or to clear my chakras or to do any type of work for me or even for me to do a doing, it's going to fill me with energy. It's going to make me feel great. I'm going to have a high feeling off of this. Few days go by. Work sucked. You had a tough day. People nonstop cutting you off. People treating you like crap. Throughout the week, that energy you just filled into your mind that you think you filled is going to deplete from you. It's going to slowly feel like it's being removed. And what do they do every Sunday on church? They return. They come back to the building. If you did it right, you'd never return. But this organization keeps you coming back, keeps you reliant on what they're giving you. This is no different. I can cleanse your chakra. I can do these things for you. But you're going to come back. You will return. And this is what Buddha did. He taught what he called total death. I'm going to teach you total death so that you can die fully here and now and be with the timeless, be with the beloved, be with the divine from now until forever. That's somebody who wants you to find yourself. If I want you to come back to me, I'm simply doing what religion has done. I'm creating a deity. I'm creating a safe place. I'm creating something outside of you that you're reliant on. Something that's going to fill you with energy that you already have. Just so the week, your work week and the week can deplete you, can drain you of this energy. And then you can come back to me. But if I teach you total death, if I teach you the method of Buddha, total death, you won't come back to me asking, who was I in a past life? Because there is no past, there is no future. You're with the timeless from now until forever. You don't ask about a past life. You won't return to me and say, what happens when I die? You're with the timeless. You're with the beloved. The search is over. Questions are over. And I'm not saying growing, learning is over. That's not what I mean by questions. What I mean by questions are what I was just talking about a few minutes ago. Questions that keep you up at night, that take you from your peace, that don't allow you to sleep or be in the moment. True meditation. True meditation is being in the moment, as the moment. No question, no answer. No past, no future. In between there is meditation, is the moment. So just because you become a Buddha, you've awakened, this does not mean you won't cry, you won't feel emotion, you won't get angry. But what it means is you will purge these feelings, purge these emotions, so that you can be more involved in this moment. You're not dwelling on the past. You're not dwelling an hour from now. You're not dwelling about 2 hours prior of what someone did to you. You're always in the moment. You're in the moment because you've experienced the timeless. You've experienced what's called total death. So do you need to come back to me? No. Because you know what this is. You know who I am behind these eyes and behind this veil, because that's all this is a veil keeping you from yourself. And if I keep you coming back to me, you're falling for this veil. You're falling for this veil. You must return to this video. You must return to what I'm saying to be with the divine, to get a taste of the truth. Incorrect. The truth lives in your heart. As I said, nothing is true until you have decided. You decide what is real and what is not. You can read an entire book and discard everything in it but one chapter. You decide what is true. You can be told a million different things, but truth is yours. And that's the great discovery, is you don't need to help spread truth, spread awareness, spread that. Truth is always happening. And when I say truth, I mean we don't need to awaken the masses to the truth that we believe about corrupt government. we feel, okay, there's a corrupt system in place. Now that I've discovered this, I need to return and let everybody know that there's something corrupt going on. There's something dirty going on here. But that belief mirrors your foundation of beliefs. And your foundation of beliefs is built on illusion, has been built on this surface level. Which means if you truly want to know yourself, you must go into the unknown. You will not recognize yourself at some points in your journey, as expected, as rightfully so. And when you hit that point of meeting this self that you don't know about, going into the unknown, don't hold on, don't fight, don't resist. Trust in yourself. If you love your name, if you love your body in this form, in this experience, as much as you do, just picture what you call God. What you call God loves itself so much, it's brought this experience into itself. It's gifted this experience to itself. So while you feel, I'll use myself for example, I love Tyler so much. I never want to say goodbye to this experience. I never want to part ways with this experience because I love Tyler so much. Well, if you think you love Tyler so much and love is the answer, there is a love that penetrates this love for Tyler that I have. There is a love that is unspeakable. There is a love that is so powerful. It's been compared to that ecstasy feeling when you have sex, intercourse. It's that powerful, and there's no doing required. There's nothing required but knowing yourself, knowing who you are. That is meditation. But as I said, everything you know, everything you believe will mirror your foundational belief. Even meditation. I get this all the time. I tell people I meditate at work, I meditate at home, I'm always in meditation. I don't come out of my meditation. This is how I do my videos. You know, I don't have to close my eyes and try and channel something, or I don't have to hold a crystal to my head to speak this stuff or to channel this oneness being. No. I'm showing you the way. I am you. You are me. We're always in the presence, in the moment of what we're calling God, of that non-dual awareness. So many people say, I can't just meditate all day. What do you want me to sit in a corner and meditate all day? That's not the point of life. And right you are. What you are giving to the word meditation, the definition, the picture you're creating, is mirroring your foundational belief of who you are. You believe you're human. You believe you're doing something when you meditate. You believe you're doing something which, again, you have an expectation. By doing this, I am going to experience this better or fuller or more aware. However you want to word it. That's essentially what we're saying. When I meditate, I'm just going to understand energy better, or the energy is going to get stronger, or I'm going to be more present. We've attached all these associations to meditation because we've attached so many associations with ourselves. And it's just like what Muji says. If you've watched his videos, he tells you, remain shapeless. That's simple. Remain shapeless. If you want to stay with the beloved, remain shapeless. But what he's talking about when he says remain shapeless is not a belief, is not something that you see. It's the heart. This is what opening the third eye does, is it allows you to have clear seeing. And this is why I said in that post, third eye opening has nothing to do with fluoride. This is a belief created by the ego for the ego. You are getting in your own way and you don't even know it. The longer you believe in this fluoride belief and it's stopping you from opening the third eye, the more you are getting in your own way. Because again, truth is already yours. I can't give you the truth and nobody else can. Your belief creates the truth. You see truth based on your beliefs. So what I say about meditation is, again, I've covered this in my last video. All things that we experience here are either a person, place, or a thing. These things are attached to consciousness, and that's what I talked about. Consciousness we have created. So we have created consciousness. We have created person, place, and thing through consciousness. But where does consciousness come from? We still cannot answer it, and I'm answering it for you today. We don't understand consciousness because we have created it. Similar to God, we don't understand God because we have created it. It's just like trying to describe the sensation of touching your own hand. How do you describe touching your own self, your own hand? There's no description because you're not separate from your hand. You can describe another's hand because it's separate from yours. How do I describe my own self, my own hand? It's the same with God. We've created God, the word, the definition, the deity. But you are that. So person, place, and thing, all these things that we create and that we experience are happening through awareness. This is why you can be depressed as ever. And I'm talking about in a deep depression. And for those of us who have been there, you know. You can go anywhere in the world when you are this low and depressed. It will not change how you feel. It will not add nor take away any depression that you feel. Same with persons. You can go have a family gathering. You could be around all your loved ones. And while it may help you feel better, it's not going to take away the depression you feel in your heart. And my point is this. All person, place, and things belong to that presence. We think we're going places when we travel, but we're not. You are present at every place, at every person, through everything. Because you must be. Your awareness is the person, the place, and the thing. So what my point is this. Meditation is remaining as that awareness. You can venture off and get lost in consciousness if you choose. But meditation is remaining grounded in that awareness. Yes, again, I may cry, I may get angry, I may get triggered through emotion, but I purge this emotion so I can properly be involved in the experience, the presence. That's what remaining present means. I can get mad, at work and do that, but I don't view work as work and I don't view home as home. That's why so many of us have a hard time leaving home and going to work. We hate work. We want to be home. It's the associations you're giving. That's what opening the third eye does. It allows you to have clear seeing. You think you're going to a place when you go to work, but you're not. You're going into your own presence. And if you're miserable at work, it's your presence that you're neglecting. You don't realize your presence is that place. And if you're choosing to go to this place and be miserable, you are missing the dream in itself. You're missing the beauty. Don't let another minute pass you by where you're miserable at work, because work is given such a misconception, such a bad rep, because we're doing things we don't want to. But once again, you're not even who you think you are. That's where our main focus should be. That should strike us as very important. I'm not even who I think I am, so maybe I should leave the rest of that aside. Focus on the who first. Uncover that, and you'll realize that half of those questions that you had will dissolve with that who. That's when the real questions can begin. And when I say real questions, I mean beyond the surface level. Because all surface level questions do is branch off into 10 more questions, keeping you from that center point, from presence, from awareness, where you have always been and where you still are, even when asking the question. The only difference is you're not experiencing, you're not present as awareness. You're getting lost in consciousness. And again, that's perfectly fine. There is no right or wrong. I'm not saying that. But again, like me, if you are frustrated, hitting that wall by searching, you're lost and you've been lost long enough. Now I'm ready to find myself, to be found, you know? I've felt lost long enough, and now I'm ready to be at peace with my questions. I want to answer my questions to bring myself peace. That's where I was, you know? So again, I'm not saying being lost or venturing far off into consciousness or trying to answer your every question is wrong. Absolutely not. It's beautiful and it's fun to do so. But some of us are more persistent. Some of us want that answer. Who am I? And for me, that became the forefront of my focus. I didn't care about where the moon was at. I didn't care about where the sun was at. Why do I care about that? Why do I care about where the sun or the moon or what house was in, or if it's a retrograde, this or that? That means nothing to me until I answer the question of who am I? Until I uncover that question, these questions are going to continue to keep me up at night. Because I'm just prolonging the first question, who am I? And the longer you prolong that, the more the mind is going to think of more sophisticated and scary questions. And that's where I've been getting asked the question a lot. What is the meaning of all this? You know, a lot of people have messaged me saying, you know, I've awakened to a lot of information and I understand all this, but what is the meaning? And that's the hardest part, is trying to take the information you've gathered from the surface level and apply it beyond. It's meaningless. It has no value beyond surface level. Excuse me. This is why I say you must be lost to be found. You must lose yourself to find yourself. And when you hit that wall, when you get to that point, it will terrify you. Know that, because you will be experiencing a part of yourself which you will not recognize for the first time. And since you're finally paying attention to it, it's going to be speaking to you more, not through words, but through your experience. And it's going to terrify you because we're playing small. And that's our greatest fear. That is why Satan is in power. Satan is the mirror keeping you from looking in the mirror. Because if you look in the mirror, you will see the reflection of yourself. And in that moment, you will realize, if I am Satan, I am God. And this is my power. I have been this power the whole time. That's what Satan does, is keeps us playing small. If you are terrified to look in the mirror of God, you will never be God. You will never discover you are God, because that mirror is keeping you from discovering this. That is the great conspiracy. That is what I mean when I say the greatest conspiracy is not with you in the world. It's with you and yourself. You are getting in your own way. You are keeping you from yourself. That satanic mirror is keeping you from finding out what's behind, what's underneath the surface level. Because that's what God represents, is the ultimate power. There is nothing more powerful. So think about it. If you are God, the only thing Satan serves is to keep you from looking into that mirror, to finding out who you really are. Because the clock strikes midnight when your character finds out it's playing two characters at one time. That's when the ego is really shattered. That's when the ego must really regroup itself and go back inside and rethink everything. That's when we can begin spirituality. Until we leave behind the crystals, until we leave behind the processes and the doings, we're going to find ourselves coming back for more and more and more. And same with questions. The more we answer our surface level questions, the more questions are going to follow those questions. You're only going to think bigger and bigger and bigger, just as scientists have done. A fractal pattern allows us to view infinity without actually having to experience infinity, the timeless, right? And that's what a fractal pattern does. It shows us that if you go into the microscopic atom, you will find a universe exactly like this one. And if you look into the macrocosm, the universe outside of us, you will find a universe the same as this one. But scientists fight this because, again, we need to do something. We can't accept that we're already there. There is no place to go. And that's what they've hit that wall. Oh my God. If the universe isn't physical, where are we actually going? Where can we actually go? And the answer to that is nowhere. So when the ego hits that wall, it is shaken to its core. It feels like you are dying. It feels as if everything you know is being taken from you. It can even feel as if it's a dirty trick being played on you. But I can encourage you, you must trust in this moment. Because if you're feeling this, I promise you, you're on the right path. Trust in the unfolding and allow it to show you what it needs to. Just as I said, the more you become aware of this video, of what this topic here, the easier life and meditation gets. Until, like Buddha says, meditation should literally become a backdrop to your life, a back screen. It's like what I talked about previously in this video, a screen that's always with you. You're always in meditation. The second you say, I have come out of meditation, or, I meditated for 20 minutes and, I'm done. You've just gone back into ego. You've gone back into the mind. And again, be careful of the associations you attach to meditation, because this is why majority of people who come to me who say they meditate, they feel the same at the end of their meditation as they did in the beginning. It's done nothing. They feel no different. They see no difference. So the great question is, what were you just doing for that 20 minutes that you orchestrated and planned? What were you doing in this time? Were you trying to force an outcome? Did you have an expectation? Did you play spiritual music? Were you expecting to see something? Were you expecting something to happen? Or were you just trying to feel good? There is no right or wrong answer. But again, there is a possible way to be meditation, to be as meditation, because meditation is just awareness. It is the shapeless awareness that Mooji talks about. It has no association to consciousness and the universe and the world and the human race and artificial intelligence and this and the first and last and beginning and end and the meaning and the point and all this stuff. That's all part of consciousness. Awareness, meditation, is pure. Pure. So anytime you get lost and start scaring yourself with your thoughts, just remember, this is a product of consciousness, and you are not a product of consciousness. The self that you may be aware of right now may be a product of consciousness, but you are not. You exist separate from consciousness. And that is what the ego is, a separate entity from that awareness. That is what I say. When I say ego, I'm speaking of that separate entity that is split from this awareness. It is so lost in its consciousness, it is so lost in its conscious mind that it believes these two eyes. It has fallen for the illusion. It has fallen for the veil of these two eyes. This is how you open the third eye. And I'm not selling you anything. I'm not offering you anything you don't already have. I'm giving you the raw and pure truth. If you want to open the third eye the way the ancients did back in the day, they knew themselves. They were so grounded in awareness. They knew what they were seeing with. That's where the term, I have three eyes, two to look and one to see, means. That's where that term came from. It has nothing to do with fluoride. You can filter your water all day long. The quality of your water does not influence how you see this reality. I can promise you. In my whole life, since my awakening, I've drank all sorts of water, tap water, bottled water, high pH water, hose water. I have never been affected, never been swayed. My third eye wasn't open yesterday and closed today. That is not how this works. That is why I say this is an ego's game for the ego and nothing more. The game only works when you're unaware of who you are, when you're unaware of your role in the game. That's when it works. But when you become aware, like the Wizard of Oz, I am the one behind the curtain. The entire game changes. When Neo became aware that him fighting Mr. Smith was him fighting himself, the whole game changed. The movie was over. Why? Because he stopped fighting. How can I defeat you if I am you? What am I going to defeat myself? Does that make any sense to anybody? Logically, no. But see, we don't believe that. We don't believe we're each other. We don't believe in that because we're so rooted in ego, the separate entity of that oneness, of that one awareness. That is how we're universal. But again, we get lost in the appearance. We look different, so we can't be the same. But let me explain to you how we're universal. The same love that you have for your family, when you look at pictures of your family, you smile and get excited and happy. You want to see them do good in life. You want to see them succeed. You want the best for them. That feeling that you have, I have. He has, she has. It is a universal feeling. That is what it means when we're one. That is how we connect through the heart. We're all feeling the same things through awareness. It's consciousness that separates us and says, those are not my tears. This is not my face. This is not my body. It's not my pain. Incorrect. When you know yourself, when you have clear seeing, you know there is no place, nowhere that you are not. So the greatest meaning, just to circle back to the original topic here, to me, through my experience, through attempting suicide and tasting death, and let me be clear, I didn't experience death through my suicide attempt. I experienced death after that. After I tried that, I came out of the hospital, I experienced with psychedelics because this may sound scary or crazy to some people and they may not understand, but after you have already tried to kill yourself, I'm not talking about trying to talk about where, I'm thinking about it. No, after you physically have tried to and you have failed. You have nothing to lose in that mindset. There's nothing to be lost. You've already let go and decided, I'm done. So when you go into psychedelics, there's no resistance. There's no fight. There is no, oh my God, let me protect the ego. Let me hold on. If you were just so ready to die, if you just tried killing yourself, then psychedelics is a heaven for you, which it was for me. I thought I wanted to die, or so I thought. Came out of the hospital. I did psychedelics a few times. And that is where I experienced death. And since I was such a good test subject, and what I mean by that is I was so willing to just let go. I didn't care anymore. Since I was so willing to let go, there was no resistance, no fight. It's almost like I skipped that phase. I skipped the whole chapter of fighting, resisting, having to realize I'm fighting myself and oh my God. So instead of the fight process, I just went straight through. I broke through and I was there. I was God and God was me. There was nothing else. And the longer I stayed as that, the longer I was able to see that I have not actually gone into medicine. I have not actually gone into psychedelics. This has simply removed my mind, which was clouding me the whole time from myself. That presence that it showed me when I had lost my mind is the presence that is right here and now. And so if you want to be technical, I've never come out of my psychedelic trip. I'm still in that presence of being in psychedelics, being on psychedelics. I've never left. Same with meditation. It's the same message. The minute you have left meditation, you have left yourself. You have forgotten your being. Psychedelics is not a medicine foreign to you. It is written and coded into your DNA. Psychedelics are producing your experience right now. But some people are too proud to admit that. It's ego. And this is how I know too. The people who talk about fluoride clouding the third eye, these are people who have never touched psychedelics. Because the moment you have done psychedelics, you will overstimulate the brain. And for the first time, you will experience what opening the third eye means. And you will see there is no possible way of clouding the third eye. You're the only way to do that. Your forgetting is the only way. It's not like anyone can put something in the water or put something in the air that's going to stop you from opening your third eye. And this is my point. The people who have done psychedelics know what that looks like. They know what opening the third eye means. The people who haven't, all they have is the expectation in their mind of, if I only could drink water without fluoride, I'd open my third eye. But you don't know what you're asking for. You've never actually experienced your brain fully stimulated on psychedelics, on DMT. Because even right now in this moment, even if you're 100% sober, if there is a picture being produced in front of you, DMT is the result. There are DMT crystals vibrating in your brain right now to produce the picture you see right here and now. But let's just say there's like 5%. You know how they say we only use a certain percentage of our brain? This is where this comes into play. There's only, let's just say, 5 to 6% of DMT crystals vibrating in your brain right now, allowing you to be aware of this experience right here and now. But when you take psychedelics, you overstimulate the brain on the DMT that's already inside of you. You overstimulate the brain, and for the first time, your awareness seeps outside of the boundary of skin, of a form. You're not actually going out of body, and you're not actually going to some place. It's removing the mind for you, because the mind is person, place, and thing. The only difference is we have a screen here to project our mind to. But like I said, the screen is your mind itself. That is the Great Awakening. What you think to be the world is a private place that only you have seen. Only you have seen it because it lives behind your eyes. It is your mind that you project through these two eyes. You think you're in a universe. You think you're in a physical place. You think that this is really Earth. But all you're truly seeing is the back of your mind, projected onto a screen. That's why this is called a mirror. Think about it. Why is it called a mirror universe? Because you're not actually seeing anything of the form. You're seeing your mind, which births definition and word into the forms that we know. So, with or without me assigning this a word, this is absolutely here. I can touch it. It can stab me if I wanted it to. This is absolute. It's the name, the word that I birth into this form. See, this is not a crystal until the mind creates a sound. Cr, 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 stole. Just like that, this form has been transformed into the sound. Crystal. Crystal. But before you assign this a word, this was nothing. Like I said, the form was here. Whether you assign this a word or not, it's here. It doesn't need you to give this any name. It's the same with animals. It's the same with the world and everything in it. With or without you assigning words and definitions, everything already is. That's what opening the third eye is. Clear seeing. That's where Rumi's quote comes into experience, not belief, experience. I looked for God and found nothing but myself. I looked for myself and found nothing but God. Because what you think to be the word is your own mind. And when you go even a step further, all deities and all creations, all inventions began as formless thoughts in the mind, which we then materialized into a form. Proving to you, you are the creator here. You have birthed the heavens and hell. You have birthed the angels and the demons. They came from your thoughts. They came from your mind. They were not shaped until you constructed them, until your mind materialized them. And that goes for God, and that goes for Satan. You've materialized them into a form. And if you want to take that a step further, what do you think you've done with the body you're playing as right now? See, when I said the human race was the virus, I didn't mean that we were a plague, or I didn't mean it as in we're some disease. I didn't mean it as a disrespectful type of dig, like we're a virus, a cancer, or something like that. When I said that we're the virus, what I meant by is our subconscious mind, our unawareness. It is the virus. Look around outside. You'll see littering everywhere, trash everywhere. Masks everywhere. This is a result of us not knowing ourselves. That is what I meant by us being a virus. Not that we're a cancer, not that we're not deserving, but we don't know ourselves. We've forgotten. And here's the thing. We have all the information right at our fingertips. Any book you've ever wanted, any video you've ever wanted is right at your fingertips. Awakening has greatly transformed. What used to take one several years to awaken to may take months now. But this is where we get spoiled because we want everything now, faster, faster, faster. Right? And some of us will skip over an hour video, a 2-hour video, or even a book that may contain gold simply because, no, I need this book summarized now. I don't need to read the damn thing. I want you to tell me the summary of it. I want the answers now. Don't produce a 2-hour video for me. Don't give me a 2-hour video. Just say it in a sentence. I want the answers right now. Some of us are wanting things faster. We're expecting things faster. But this is where you owe it to yourself. Take the time. If this is important to you, if spirituality is important to you, if real results are important to you, don't cheat yourself. And don't try and fool yourself, because you will do what I did. You will make yourself even more miserable. So remember, the greatest conspiracy is not with you and the world, it's with you and yourself. And when you are ready, you will reveal you to yourself.